What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Kaspa today at the request of Mr. D. Larcher. You wanted me to talk about next year, the projections for the overall next year. So first and foremost, I do want to say, actually, we're going to have to go to the MEXC chart for this for some historical data. So if we take a look at this from the first, that's not it. First high to low, 3 weeks. Next high to low, 5 weeks. The next high to low, 8 weeks. I would assume that we're going to continue that trajectory, and as we already are 9 weeks in, I do think that we have yet to find our low for this move. I've gone through several times anytime I talk about Kaspa and measured all of these. This is like 72%, something like that, 76%. This one was 54%, 56.9, almost 57. This was 72. And then here, we've yet to see a move that's even close to anything that we've seen before. A 56% move would be all the way down here at just below or around 6.6 cents. And I would think that we go lower than that. That's the smallest move down that we've seen so far. I do think that we go lower, and I think that we have several more weeks before we actually find that low. But you're talking about throughout the next year where I think Kaspa can go. I think, sometime toward the end of this year, obviously we would be at new highs. I don't know. I don't have any fibs to draw off of this high, so I'm not going to have as accurate of a representation from that. But we do have a pretty solid divot right here. So looking at the resistance here at the 1886, you probably come all the way back down to your 1272, maybe even a little bit lower than that is what I'm thinking. Something below 6 cents is totally at play here for Kaspa. Absolutely it is. If we actually, I want to take this top to low, or low to high here. 382 lining up with that 782 very well. Yeah. I would bet you probably find support at this previous area of resistance right around like 5 cents. Right around 5 cents. But I feel comfortable saying 6 cents to 5 cents is probably where you're going. Sorry. You've got targets that are well above that, right? You're at 11 cents now. I would think by the end of this year, I want to see how you've actually interacted with your deeper extensions off of these moves. Top to bottom, 1414 hit, 2272 is the next one. Top to bottom here, 2618 hit, deep extensions. Yeah, okay. And then off to the next one. And then here, 1886 hit, and then off to the next ones. I mean, you're probably going to see prices above 50 cents by the end of the year, but it's really hard actually to kind of gauge where I would expect you to be by the end of the year, because I don't have this low yet. I don't have the proper fib to draw it off of. If we did go as low as I'm expecting you to go, probably somewhere at least there, we could look at anything from about 40 cents based off of what we've seen to potentially even like 62 cents or higher. I don't think Kaspa will be above $1 by the end of this year. Personally, I know that might be blasphemous to some of you out there, but I don't think it'll be above $1 by the end of this year. I do think that it has a solid chance of being above 40 cents and probably above 50 cents even. But there is a little bit of double coverage here up at this $1.22. It could happen, but if you were to break $1, it'd be like $1.22, $1.30 is probably where you're going to go. But much past 60 cents, I can't really see by the end of this year. Yeah, so hard to say what I think for the next year. I do think it's going to go up nonetheless. I just think in the coming weeks, maybe even months, but multiple weeks from now, I think you're going to continue moving down, finding your low. Kaspa does like to run separate from the pack. It does like to go up when other things are stagnant or moving down. So absolutely, by the time Bitcoin is still moving down, Kaspa could have already found its low. But nonetheless, I think it's going lower in the more immediate terms. Daily RSI looks weak, neutral but weak. Yeah, so probably around 5 to 6 cents is where I think it's going. And as far as the next year, I do think it continues to grow, but I really don't have a good estimation. There's nothing really telling in the fibs as to what a good idea would be. Because if we're looking at this again, just real quick, I'll do a quick little run through. This first one, you hit your 1414 perfectly, but then here you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Here you're in the middle of nowhere. Here, this one, top to bottom, hit that 2618 pretty well, but then again in the middle of nowhere here, kind of topping off nowhere here, not really respecting your deeper areas. So it's hard to say. It's actually pretty hard, not easy to say where I think, based off of this, you could go to your next ones. So It is possible, I suppose, to break above $1, but I don't know if I would expect that by the end of this year. It is possible. It is possible, but I'm not expecting that. So probably move down to 5 or 6 cents, and then for the rest of the year you'll be moving up, not just in a straight line, but more or less moving up anywhere from, I'd say, 40 to 90 cents, probably around 60 cents if I really had to guess. So that's that. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. Thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.